What is going on today? We're going to be working on the 2010 Mazda 3. More specifically, we're going to be replacing the trailing arm bushings on this car because as you'll see in a moment, they're completely shot from 15 years of driving in the snow and salts in New York. So hopefully you guys can see this, but that is what our trailing arm bushing looks like in the surrounding area, which is completely rusted. So not only will I be showing you how to replace this, but how to do it on a rusty car. You can see the bushing doesn't look half bad, but everything around it is pretty much destroyed. And in order to get to that, we're gonna have to take apart a couple of things on this car, including the caliper, the brakes, and then the control arms, which you can see I have painted here. So they were very rusty at one point, but I did just briefly paint over them. But we're gonna be taking this one out right here, as well as the lower one out right there. And it's a very easy job on the driver's side. On the passenger side, it's a bit harder, but I'll show you how to do that as well. Now, replacing these bushings is a fairly easy job, although it will require some sort of press. I have this 12-ton hydraulic shop press here, but you can also get away with using some sort of ball joint press like I have here from OMT. Now, keep in mind, I'll be linking all the tools as well as parts you'll be needing for this job down in the description below. Now, you might have noticed I do have a couple of other parts here on the table, and the reason is while we're replacing the trailing arm bushings, we're practically disassembling the rear upper control arms. Both of these, as you can see here, which I picked up from TRQ on Amazon. And again, I'll go ahead and link the Moog bushing as well as these parts down in the description below. We'll start with removing the caliper. First, locate the two caliper slide pin bolts on the back side of the caliper. Use a ratchet to remove them. Once the bolts are out, carefully slide the caliper off the bracket and don't let it hang by the brake hose. Use a bungee cord or a wire to hang it securely from the suspension. Next, pull out the brake pads from the caliper bracket. Now, to remove the bracket itself, take out the two larger bolts on the backside that secure the bracket to the knuckle. Once those are out, the caliper bracket can be removed. And with the bracket off, the last step is just to remove the rotor. So with the rotor out of the way, we now have access to all the bolts that we need to unscrew. There are two bolts in here that we're going to loosen up, and then we have a couple on the top. We have the upper control arm bolt here. We have a bolt here, we have another bolt right here, and then the last bolt is on the bottom of the shock. Now, as you saw, those bolts are super rusty. So what we're gonna do is either use a torch, or for me, I have this amazing tool here. This is a flameless induction heater that we can use these coils to put over each bolt, heat them up super hot, and then we'll just impact them off. It is the best way that I have found to get these bolts free without snapping them off. So we're also going to have to remove a couple of things here, some smaller accessory things that I'll show you. But otherwise, it's very easy and straightforward. Don't be surprised if you snap some of the smaller bolts like I did. It's inevitable, and luckily it's not a critical component. If your car is rusty like mine, then heat and penetrant are your best friends. Every bolt I heat up and cool down with WD-40 before I use my impact on it. This is to ensure I don't snap them off. Now, in no particular order, you'll need to remove the upper control arm bolt, both lower control arm bolts, and the shock mount bolt. So there is this plastic cover that is in the way, but as you guys can see, the bolts on that are completely rusted out. So you don't actually need to unscrew them if you don't want to. And there's just usually a little clip in the inside here if you still have it, but just bend this out of the way and it will give you access to those two bolts without having to break any bolts, because you will certainly break those little tiny bolts if you decide to unscrew them on a rusty car. And just like before, heat them up, cool them down, and then impact them off. With these two bolts off, you can finally remove the entire assembly from the car. We should be off somehow. Yep, here we go. Oh, there's one last clip in the back. Undo this sensor here, and we should be off. Simple. So check it out, we have completely removed the rear part of the suspension from the car, revealing the crusty trailing arm bushing, and boy, is this thing shot. But not only do we have access now, oh my gosh, get ready to see this, but not only do we have access to the trailing arm bushing, we now have the easiest access to replacing these upper control arms. So much easier with this piece off, and it's like, while it's off, you might as well replace it. So that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna replace these two upper control arms, and then we're gonna start cleaning up this lower suspension part, the lower arm, and replace the bushing, and then just reassemble everything back together. So here's a closer look at what it is that we're replacing. This is the trailing arm bushing on the 2010 Mazda 3, and you can see it is completely corroded and pretty bad at that. And you can see on the other side here, it is completely destroyed and all rusty. So we're just gonna press this out, press in a new one. And as you can see, we have these two upper control arms that are very easy to access now. You can see right here, we got one bolt, and then the other bolt is kind of buried up there, but again, very easy to reach with a, you can see right up there, right back there, you can see very easy to access that with an extension on the impact. So check it out, here is the old upper control arm, one of them, and you can see these bushings. They've definitely seen better days, and this is why, for the price, it just makes sense to replace these, because it's literally just one extra bolt. Here's the new one. They go either way. They are pretty much the same exact thing, so it really doesn't matter how you install them. Just remember that the outer part faces forward, the front of the car, not backwards. So when it comes to installation, you want this inner part to be facing the rear of the car and the outer part to be facing the front of the car, like this. And remember, we're just gonna loosely screw this in and not tighten this, because we need to tighten this under load, and we'll do that at the end. So right now, you just wanna hand thread or lightly screw all the bolts back in, which is just gonna be this one bolt here. And then we'll take this one out and do the same thing. So unlike the passenger side, the driver's side, the bolt is very easy to access for this top upper control arm. So again, we're gonna heat it up with the induction heater. This tool is a lifesaver if you have a rusty car. It makes very easy work of getting these bolts unscrewed. And just remember, we're heating up both sides because you got the bolt head on the front here, which we're trying to heat up so it crushes the rust inside, and then we'll cool it down with WD-40. But then at the same time, we're also trying to heat up that outer nut that it gets screwed into, because as it gets heated up, it expands and makes the bolt much easier to slide through. So let's heat that up and get it out right now. So you can see it's very easy to send a 10-inch extension right over here, and I'll either put my impact on it, or you can just use, you know, a 1/2-inch wrench. And boom, just like that, the bolt comes right out. I just cracked it loose with the big 1/2-inch ratchet. You can see here, the Icon one came right out, and then I just finished the job with the impact. But you can see right here, look at the difference between the two. Look at how bad these freaking bushings are. I mean, this one's terrible. This one has certainly seen better days, and I'm sure this will all increase how the car drives. And we're gonna put this one on right here. Simply, just again, install it, lightly tighten the bolt, and we'll tighten everything down to spec once we have everything back in place, preloaded. So check it out, I went ahead and knocked off as much rust as I could, and then I used that rust reformer paint to spray it black. And as you guys can see, I have a chisel and hammer here, and I just wanna mark where exactly we're gonna be pressing in this bushing. And as you can see on this side here, I've made 2 notches on the top. You can see one right there and one right there that line up right with the holes on the bushing. And I've done this on either side, you can see right over there, so that I know where to press this in and also which side to press this in. So for anyone at home trying to replace the right rear upper control arm on the passenger side of their 2010 Mazda 3, 2008, 2009, 2010, 11, 12, even 13, you might have noticed it's much harder to replace it on the passenger side because the subframe is in the way right over there. You can see that to get to the bolt that we need to access, this part is in the way, this bracket here. So I want to show you how you can still get this bolt out. As you can see, this is nasty. We're going to get that out here. But the 1A Auto TRQ video, they conveniently show you how to do it on the driver's side, not the passenger, the harder side. So I'm going to show you what you need to do. And it's quite simple. You can see the bracket back here. You can actually bend that, and you can see if I bend it, it'll give us some access. You just push it. Really give it a nice push. Might have to do it off camera, but then you'll have enough room to either send a long extension, you can see one of these extensions here, or a ratchet. So we're gonna try this method or this method, and we'll definitely be able to get it out. Just go bend that charcoal canister bracket right over here. As you can see, with the bracket bent out of the way, I have enough room to get a wrench in here and actually break it off. So we're just gonna heat this bolt up, get our handy dandy breaker icon on here, and we'll get this puppy loose. Check it out. Now that I bent this bracket more, eventually we can get her out. Now we can pull the whole control arm out. Now, if all goes according to plan, should be able to just lift her out on the passenger side. Excellent. I am very happy. Oops. Now we just got to make sure to install the new one and make sure the new one is of the same size, which it is. It is perfect. So now just reassemble. We have installed the new upper rear control arm on the passenger side, the lower control arm, and then all the way in there, we have our brand new trailing arm bushing, all nice and pressed in. We hit it with some rust reformer, which we're gonna do right here, and we'll be good to go. So I went ahead and using the ball joint press kit, I used one of these cups just to press out the inner part of the bushing to make it easier to install the new one. Now we have to press out this inner race that's on here using a bigger cup that is applied, and then we'll be able to push in the new one. So check it out, we got the old bushing pressed out, both the inner race part as well as the bushing itself. Now we just need to line up our new bushing into this side. Remember, this outer lip gets pushed from the inner part of this right over here. So this side is with that, as you can see, and we're gonna line it up over here. We have the new bushing installed into the arm here. Now it's time to just get all the bolts nice and snug, put everything back together, and then torque it to spec. When it comes to reinstallation, I found it much easier to start by putting in the trailing arm bushing bolts first. Ask me how I know. And then figuring out how to get the rest of the bolts in. You can also use a screwdriver to help you guide the bolts in place through the bushings, because most of the bushings aren't going to sit straight at first. Shoot. just like that, we have officially installed a new trailing arm bushing, as well as 2 rear control arms. Everything is torqued and back up. Remember guys, torque it under load. This way, all the bushings are sitting as they would on the road under load. But that's it for today's video, guys. Definitely make sure to smash that like button, turn on post notifications, subscribe. If you do have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. Peace.